Excited. And what we're going to do today, friends, is we're going to do some herringbone wraps. Now, there are many ways to accomplish doing a herringbone. And there are many videos out there to show you many different ways. I'm going to divide this into two different videos because we can do herringbone wraps that are just on the top of our beads or the top and the bottom, which is really cool to add like to bracelets or even necklaces as links. You can do multiple herringbone wraps on both sides of your beads. So about a 16-inch piece of wire, okay? And we need to start with 7 wraps. And so we will start with our chain nose and we will go down about 2 inches or so. We'll go ahead and put our right bend in. We will come in with our chain nose, put our chain nose right into that bend, focusing on the small wire. We're going to push that around, hugging our tool to the front, rotate our pliers around us to where the weight is on the top wire here. We're going to push that wire behind us, and now we have our L with our little lollipop head there. And now what we're going to go ahead and do is, let me change hands and see what I'm doing here. And so now what we're going to do is we need 7 wraps. So we're going to wrap the small wire around the long core wire. So we'll do that 7 times. We need 7 wraps. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Okay. And we'll go ahead and trim that excess off. We can tuck on our burr if we want. Doesn't matter. If we don't want to, it's fine. It's all going to get covered up in our herringbone, and even when you're wearing it, you will never feel this section. That's why I don't care if we do a clean wrap or a messy wrap. Okay, and that's what we have. Okay, so now we'll grab the other side of our wire and we'll go ahead and let's feed on this really cool bead, which is a really cool shape. So we have more of a round, this is really more of like a round, the only thing I can think is like a rondelle. It's a really cool shape bead. But we have, the reason I want to demonstrate with this bead is because this is a little bit more challenging because the whole bead is symmetrical, right? It's the same shape all the way around. So our wire may want to really start going rogue, okay? And so a really great bead to demonstrate. So the first thing is, again, we just want to make sure that our stem and everything here is nice and straight. It doesn't hurt to go over it with your chain nose or your nylon gel, whatever, just to kind of work hard that a little bit. Makes that nice and stiff. And we start at the bottom, right? So we are going to pull this wire tight around the side, and around we go up to the top, landing always on the top of the stem, and go around. We'll come back, and again, we're just pressing our wire down on the bead to keep in shape with the bead. And now I've come to the first wire wrap I did on this side of the bead, and I'm going behind that wire. Okay, and now we're back to the top, and now we want to go ahead and do a wrap. And now we'll go back down the other side here, laying that wire behind the previous, and just working that wire around. And now we're at the top, we land on top, and we're gonna go ahead and do a wrap. Now we come back down and we're going to lay this wire right behind the previous. And we're just going to keep doing this until we have as many herringbone wraps as either the bead will fit or we run out of space on our stem wraps. And so now I'm back to the top here. And up and around. And then we're going to come back down. And again, laying these wraps right next to each other. Going around the bead. Trying to keep them as tight as I can together. And now I'm back to the top again. And we go around. And then looks like we've got 1 or 2 wraps in here, maybe 1 that we've got room for. So we're coming around, going around, just shaping and pressing that wire against that bead all the way back to the top. And I do think this might, so now I'm back at the top, and now, yep, I'm pretty much out of wire, so that'll be our final one. So we go 2 wraps. So that was 1 and 2. And then we will go ahead and trim our excess. We will make sure that we tuck in that burr very gently there. And that is what we have. So this is what this looks like on the side. That's what it looks like on the bottom. And that's what that one looks like. And again, if I want to turn my loop, I'm going to put my chain nose on top, right over my loop, holding my wire and my bead, and just rotating my wrist with my pliers to whichever way I want my loop. And I can also go in there if I need to straighten my loop. We can go back in, tap, tap, tap. That helps to not only work hard your wire, but also to center your loop. If you've heard any of my other jewelry 101s, I've said that many, many times. Very good practice to get into. We need to straighten that out a smidge. We can certainly do so. And I'll lay that down. I'll push you down to the mat. And that is what we have. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial and you guys will try some herringbone wraps of your own. I will definitely show you how to do the double herringbone. So look forward to that video. I'll find some more beads. I don't think I have any shortage of that. And I'll show you guys how to do some herringbones, and then maybe we'll actually make like a herringbone bracelet. That'd be really cool. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday, and thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you guys so much, and be blessed.